Welcome back. You're still watching News.ph on the Solar News channel. I'm Pio Ontiveros. Tonight, News.ph returns to the senatorial campaign trail. We have with us Richard Dick Gordon, former senator and candidate of the United Nationalist Alliance. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being here.
Good evening, Pia. So good to see you again.
Same here, sir. Sir, no one will ever forget what you did for Subic, turning it into the Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority. Now that it's been in the news again recently, you know, for oil smuggling,
rice smuggling, car smuggling before.
But yung oil smuggling muna, if you were still SBMA, how would you have handled it?
Well, you know, we were quite tough on that. I mean, it wasn't just customs that was trailing what was happening. It was SBMA under our leadership, and we had young people who were idealistic, who really measured what was coming in. And of course, it has become more sophisticated because what they do is at times they use a lower grade product like kerosene and then take it out and then put Toulon in it, and then it becomes jet fuel. There are many ramifications in the smuggling effort. At that time, we also had the pipeline in Subic that you could also measure the fuel. You know, you could always find out how much fuel came in. And I think the problem is always misdeclaration or under-declaration of fuel arriving. So they declare only one half, so they get half of it, tax-free. Or there's also a ramification, like they would have ethyl alcohol or whatever it is now, and then say it's really denatured. Then it comes out, it's really ethyl alcohol, and when you put the flavoring, it becomes, you know, alcohol, drink. So there's a lot of, you know, imagination that goes on in the effort to try and cheat the government of taxes and duties. So you really have to come up with either police customs, you know, you could actually outsource it, you could actually bring back SGS again to make sure that what comes in is actually, you know, traced. In a Freeport zone, the customs should be out at the gate, not inside. But they should have access to what comes in so that they would know. It's very simple in this country. If you look at the goods shipped from China and you compare it to what actually came in, and how it was actually shipped, there's a big variance right away. And you know something is going on. It's always been a big problem, especially when elections come. There are people always trying to raise money in this manner.
Okay, so it's really vigilance and monitoring. I mean,
well, you really have to have good people who will think of the country. You know, Subic has a very good reputation at that time. Had a very good reputation at that time because people really sacrificed. They volunteered to make sure that it becomes a success. And at that time, during my time, we were competing against Singapore and Hong Kong. When they took me out and the new guys came in, especially immediately after, they started competing no longer with Hong Kong and Singapore. They started competing with the town of Olongapo. So they brought the nightclubs in. They brought the small, the people who brought in cars, and they took away land. You know, Subic is like Israel. Land is very valuable because most of the land is mountainous. So the very few land that exists there that's available should have been done for high-end investors, not the, you know, quick on the palm investors.
Senator Gordon, the Inquirer in its February 27 article about you, in that after that 3-hour-long interview with you, wrote that, and I quote, Gordon refused to delve into the smuggling issue in the Cagayan Export Zone Authority involving one of UNA's leaders, Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile. Is that true?
No, I didn't refuse to delve in it. In fact, I took it out of Subic when I became senator.
No, you did refuse. You refused to delve into that issue
but
during
you know,
the discussion.
Out of respect for the Senate President, he has a different view. He feels that there is no smuggling going on in Cagayan, no? And it is really not up to me to say, oh, there's smuggling in Cagayan, because I don't have any proof of it. All I know is that the goods come in prepaid with prepaid taxes. And it's up to the government. The government is now in control. They're the ones that have to account for whatever is happening there. Now, why should you make me fight with somebody that I have been identified with in a long, long time? And especially because there's nothing going on in Cagayan. I mean, they have not been able to put in industry. What they have is a conversion industry where they convert right-hand drive to left-hand drive vehicles. And, you know, in Subic, you have other choices. So poverty is an absence of choice. When you don't have an absence of choice, you tend to do this sort of things. And if it's illegal, then the government should step in and right away do something about it. I did so in Subic because I thought there were brand new cars being brought in. I thought the cars that were being brought in were actually very good second-hand vehicles that should have been taxed a lot more. In fact, I computed it. In fact, if memory serves correct, I think they had about 27 billion pesos in taxes that were not accounted for.
Okay. Speaking of Subic, sir, how do you and former President Joseph Estrada get along now, given that one of his first official acts, if not the first one, was to fire you?
Administrative Order number 1, yes, of course. But then, at that time, different times, because we didn't get along very well. We have always been very good friends. But then somehow, pumasok siya doon sa remove the bases, and somehow he got very upset with me. Still, we joke about it. I picked up his cigarette butt, he inadvertently threw it, and I put it on the waste
I remember
basket,
that. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I did for the deputy of the U.S. ambassador, and also for Winnie Monsod, with me, Winnie Monsod. I mean, I was just trying to set the example that you should not, do that. I'm sure he doesn't do it anymore, and it's a big joke with us. But then we can't be enemies forever. It's not convenience that I'm there. The fact is, you really need political parties that can really last the course. No?
Right. So you've gone past it already. I mean, it's something that it's not an issue anymore between the two of you.
I can't dwell on the past. If I did, I would be depressed all the time.
Pero napag-usapan
what
nyo na?
depresses me now is still what is going on, or the lack of what is going on in Subic.
Right.
Or the lack, yes.
Pero sir, napag-usapan nyo ng dalawa yun? Or it was, in passing na lang?
Ang biro namin na-intriga ka lang Na-intriga ka, sinabi na hindi kita pinapasok because magsushooting ka doon. That's not true. Galit sa'yo yung tao, nagbubusina habang nagsushooting ka. Pero yung hindi ka papapasukin, you were going to come in and have a meeting there, I have never done that. Stop meetings of the opposition because it's counterproductive. It will get back at you.
Right. Are you bothered at all, sir, that you aren't quite in the Magic 12?
Well, I'm in the Magic 12 statistically. If you believe the surveys, which I don't. Because in 2004, I was number 35 and I got in number 5. And that was really the work of my volunteers and all that. No? But now I'm even in better shape. Of course, the farther you are from the elections, the more easy and relaxed the voters are. But when it comes to the voting day, they will look at I'm sure that many of them will look and say, who are the most qualified? And it is my hope that my record as Con delegate, and you might change the constitution, you will need somebody who understands that. That's why you should vote wisely. You might need somebody who knows local government, so you know how it operates. You might know somebody who can get jobs, like we did in Subic, and know how to compete with the rest of the best of the world. You might need somebody who knows how to promote tourism, because it creates jobs. And you might need somebody who knows the rules of the Senate and have done strong laws like automated election, international humanitarian law, the free patent law, holiday economic, many laws. And above all, you're getting a bonus. You have 45 years of experience as a volunteer of the Red Cross. And the Red Cross has made its mark in the Philippines as the go-to organization, especially during disasters.
You really have this gift of gab, no? You'll never run out of anything to say. No, hindi gift of gab pala.
It's a gift to be able, it's a privilege to be able to serve our country. Gab is easy. I think the Liberal Party is Laway Party. That's gift of gab. Laway Party. Because they've got nothing to show.
Well, what I meant also is because sometimes like your wife would tell you, no, tama na, huwag ka na maingay, no? And then here you go.
That is principle and passion. Because ako, if I feel passionately about something and I feel strongly about it, you cannot stop me. I will say it the way it is, and even in your face. Now, in our culture, that is considered not de rigueur. So, sa akin,
it's actually very un-Filipino, no? To be direct.
No, it's not un-Filipino. It's more Hispanic Indio. Not un-Filipino. More Hispanic Indio.
Okay.
Because at those days, we were told we were beneath their dignity. We cannot even kiss their hand like in Europe. You cannot even wear their suits. You have to wear barong tagal. You cannot even go to school at the time. It was only after the liberalization that we were able to go to school.
So we were not meant to be assertive, not meant to speak our minds.
We were daunted by their walls that they Bahay kubo tayo, sila intramuros.
Okay. Sir, in a rally later the other day, you said, and we quote, maybe you're voting for the showbiz types. Politics is not showbiz. Where are you coming from when you say this?
Well, it's become showbiz because they always tell you, oh, you have to talk to the massa. What is the massa? The massa is hungry. The massa is not language. The massa is not to be entertained. The massa has to be given the reality. And the more you accept the showbiz type na paseo-seo or pakwela or pakyut, the more the massa will not have the information that he needs to be able to vote wisely. And that's why I'm hard-headed, and that's why I stay longer. I say I'm the last to speak because I can elucidate on what is happening. For example, hindi ka ba nakakalata, Pia? When we started voting in 1946, we were on top of Asia with Japan. And then the moment we voted, Japan overtook us. And then we sent troops to Korea. And then when we voted again, Korea overtook us. And then it was the turn of Hong Kong and Taiwan. They overtook us again. We used to buy there. Now we're the domestics there. And then it was Singapore's turn. We voted again. Singapore went up, we went down.
And you explained it this way. You said this is because the voters have been electing the wrong people.
Precisely. Maybe it's the wrong type of governance that we're getting. And because wala silang utang na loob sa tao, because many of them are given, want to spend a lot of money, they buy votes, or they give them all kinds of things, trinkets, t-shirts, basketballs, everything that they want to, except good governance. I'm not of that genre, I'm sorry.
Why do you give whistles?
Whistles is because of my extension of
disaster
disasters.
response.
When you blow the whistle in the Red Cross once, you stay at attention. There could be a tidal wave coming. Or when you blow it twice, take hold of your family and be prepared to leave. And you blow it 3 times, finish or not finish, evacuate. Or when you're being held up, blow the whistle. When you see somebody killed, blow the whistle.
A very useful tool, no?
Definitely.
Not like
and
a camping
it's really
t-shirt.
more to educate the people that, you know, a t-shirt, I'm here to try and get you jobs so you can buy your own t-shirt. But it also reminds them that I'm in the Red Cross as a volunteer. I don't buy anybody. I'm not paid. So when I give you that whistle, it's a reminder that we can reduce the risk of carnapping, killings, you know, and be able to help in the capture of notorious criminals.
Sir, you didn't quite appreciate the way former Chief Justice Corona was removed from office.
No, because I'm a lawyer and I'm trained to follow the law. And you know, I remember Thomas More in the A Man for All Seasons, when when the son-in-law was telling St. Thomas More, you'd give the benefit of the doubt to the devil. And they said, you're the type who would cut off all the laws of England, and when you found that you cut all of the laws of England and there's no law to turn to, and the devil turns sail and runs after you, you're going to be exposed. That is exactly what happened there. They cut corners. They made evidence available that should not have been allowed. You know, it's an impeachment. They could have been very forthright about it.
Who is the they who made evidence?
The government. The government was the one prosecuting the case.
But it was the 20+ senators who voted to convict him on Article 2.
Correct. But then that's their view. It's a political decision. It's not, you know, we have in our Bill of Rights the protection of the individual. Even if he is guilty, he has entitled to certain inalienable rights. The right to due process, the right to be able to be accosted of evidence that is probably obtained.
And that wasn't due process yet, the trial as it was.
I don't think. The evidence that was acquired there was evidence that was acquired by somebody, a little woman who gave it to a congressman. And where did he get it? How did he get it? These are, you know, there's a law that says tago yung bank deposits. Of course, in a post facto, you say, oh, dapat nilalabas niya yan. No, but there's a law. And there's a law, you do it. Even if the judge sees somebody being killed in front of him, that murderer still has the right to be heard and to have the case proven. He doesn't prove the case.
Even if in the end, Chief Justice Coron had admitted how much money he actually really had.
Well, like I said, in that interview, I said the perception was that he was guilty, and that's what did him in. But I did not like the example of using evidence illegally obtained.
But even JPE voted to convict him on Article 2.
Well, you know, in our country, the winds of politics always command, you know, sometimes adjustments. I'm sorry, I'm not of that genre.
Okay. How would you have voted if you were a senator?
I would have voted no.
No.
Yeah, not guilty.
Not guilty on Article 2.
Because the evidence did not prove their case properly. Maybe the evidence presented a very perceptive scenario that, you know, well, he's probably guilty. Well, you know, to me, supposing they start picking you up and start putting evidence and fabricating evidence or getting evidence that they did not connect with, did not do a search warrant. Remember the big hullabaloo about cyber crime?
Yes.
The government is going to block your computer. They were going to enter your computer without a search warrant. The government is going to convict you of libel. Everybody was worried. Everybody said, oh no, this is wrong, this is wrong. In the same manner, when they start doing things to people because they want to be expedient, lagot tayo.
If elected, what would you do about the cybercrime law?
Oh, I would amend it right away. No,
Right away.
in a flash. Like
In a
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon. Thank you very much, Flash Gordon. Thank you, Senator Dick
Are we
Gordon.
done?
Yes, we're
That
done.
quick. My gosh,
yes,
I mean,
thank you so much for being with us, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And thank you for being with us. I'm Pio Ontiveros. This is News.ph. See you again next Wednesday. Good night.